Hi, welcome to Room to Groove podcast. We're your hosts, Karen and Beck. Grab yourself a cuppa, find a comfortable spot, and we'll journey through grief together.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right. 3 hours sleep, but like shit.
But I feel really poorly. I'm blaming you. I don't know why, but it's your fault.
It's all right. I'll take the blame. I don't care.
I suppose we should say Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all our listeners. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back.
Let's say the dreaded Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We've done it. We've got through it. Yeah,
Yeah.
We've got through shit Christmas. We've got through shit New Year, and we're here.
Yeah. I flew back from Spain from yesterday, day before, and I woke up this morning feeling so poorly. So whether it's just holding myself together for the last 2 weeks is now just like...
It's hit your body now. Yeah?
Yeah. Whether it's the plane or what, I don't know.
I think it's just because you're missing me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? But no, we had a good New Year, didn't we? Got through that all right.
Yeah.
Weather was atrocious. I mean, I went out to Spain and my God, needed a boat the amount of rain we had on New Year's Eve. It was horrific, wasn't it?
It was only New Year's Eve. I reckon it was the kids watching us thinking, nah, you're not having a party. You're not having a good time. We're going to rain on you.
They certainly did rain on our parade.
We'll go back to Christmas Day first. How did you get through Christmas Day?
So Christmas for us, we planned a really busy one, didn't we? We planned a kind of normal-ish as we could have Christmas. And actually for me, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I kept myself very, very busy. Lots of people coming in and out. You know me, I love hosting. I love cooking. So I just planned lots of people coming in and out with lots of meals that were really intense, took me all day to prepare the food, kept me all really busy. And that for me worked. Christmas Day itself was quiet one. My dad and his wife Lynn came and it was lovely. We walked the dog. We went down to Bradley's bench. We had dinner and it was just nice. It just worked for us. That's not to say it wasn't sad and it wasn't hard and it wasn't difficult, because it was. I think Christmas Eve, I don't think I slept. I think I sobbed so hard all night. I was sick, but we did it, and I'm glad that we did stuff.
Yeah.
And then we still had families and friends come on the 27th. We flew out to you on the 28th. So, there was always something to look forward to, something to plan for, I didn't really have time to sit
and think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I'm glad we did it, and that for us was the right thing to do. So.
Good.
And your Christmas?
Well, as you know, I planned that I wasn't having a Christmas dinner. I wasn't having anything Christmassy. And I planned was having a barbecue. And day before I changed everything. So my friends were coming out to be with us on Christmas Day. And they'd said weeks and weeks ago, let's go to Punjabi Palace and we'll have an Indian Christmas. Then nobody's doing anything. Nope, no, not doing that. I said, I've never, ever had a Christmas dinner out anywhere. I want to be in our home, and I don't want to have a Christmas dinner, but I want to cook. So she wanted to go to the beach, and I said, well, you do what you want to do. We're not offended in any way. We don't know how we'll feel Christmas Day. So I had that all in my head that was the right thing to do, where I would wake up Christmas morning and we'd just cook and blah, blah, blah. So I changed it on Christmas Eve. And
in a proper meltdown fashion, you did it as well,
meltdown fashion.
It wasn't even a half-hearted change, was it?
No. So I decided that I didn't want to cook because I couldn't get the ingredients I wanted. And I got myself so wound up over ground coriander. I went to 8 different places, couldn't find it. So I'm like, I can't do what I want to do because I haven't got ground coriander. And I had a meltdown. And it was like totally out of perspective. So Rob just said, right, I'm just going to go down to Punjabi Palace and see if they've got a table. Well, they're not going to have a table, are they? They're not going to have a table on Christmas Eve. And, like, well, they did. So that was that sorted. So that took my argument away and everything was sorted then. So I wasn't right. I was still like, but that's not what I want to do, because what I want to do, I couldn't do. I couldn't do it. What I wanted to do is have a family Christmas dinner with my family, and she's not here.
Yeah.
So I was in the meltdown. So I thought I prepared, and it all changed, but I got through it. We went to Punjabi. It was okay. It was lovely being with Sue and Lee. Absolutely love their company, and we wouldn't have gone if they weren't there. We would have done nothing. Would have done something without the ground coriander, but it gave us a purpose to get dressed, go and eat a meal. And in Spain, Christmas isn't celebrated like we celebrate it. It's more the Three Kings, which is it's actually today. And it was easy to be here.
Yeah.
So next year, I've already planned next year. And it might all change again on Christmas Eve. So next year, we're having a barbecue on the beach, and we're doing that. Hopefully you and all your family will come out, and Sue and Lee will be there, and whoever else can come out and be with us. And we'll try and do something a little bit more, celebrate it a little bit more. We'll try. But as I say, it might all change.
Yeah. And it's not easy celebrating it, but I found the distraction, something
easy,
that
to take a little bit of the stress away. Yeah. I mean, as you know, I've had a difficult time over the last few weeks. I haven't done any of my pebbles. I've wanted to, but I haven't started pebble painting yet. I'm going to do that later today. Got a few more days left in Spain that I can just concentrate on that. But my son has been poorly, and that's massive trigger effects.
Yeah.
Traveling, he went to a dentist. He said he needed root canal work. It was like €500, so he was like stressed out over the money, and just said, doesn't matter. This was like Christmas Eve, or the eve of Christmas Eve. As long as you're not in pain, we need you right. And long story short, it didn't go well. So then a few days before New Year's Eve, was it New Year's Eve? Day before?
No, it was the day before.
Yeah, we then had to go to 7 dentists we went to try and get help.
And Simon and I had taken your car, so you didn't even have a car to go in, did you?
We had to get next door's car, and we finally found a dentist that would treat him, and they took his tooth out.
Yeah.
And then that resulted in a mouth infection, and he's in a lot of pain in his mouth, his throat, and where his tooth was. So we've been through absolute hell.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult. Very, very difficult.
Yeah. Everything like that's really triggering, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's had a massive effect on our time here. We haven't got to do the things we want to do. We haven't got to see the people we wanted to see. And but we're here. We're still here, and looking forward to coming home to the snow.
Yeah, it's snowing here today.
Yeah. But it was, when you come, it was like a countdown to you getting here.
Yeah.
And then like a relief, even though you was delayed, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning when we had to pick you up. Didn't hold
I
like
know.
shit
Felt
at all.
so bad.
It was like seeing you, coming into the airport. It was like, yes. And it was like something clicked inside
And
me.
we were the first ones through departures, arrivals, whatever you want to call it. We were the first ones through those gates. Yeah, we were getting off that plane, and we were on it.
But I know Simon was like on a countdown to get here. But even we were just the same, on a countdown for you to get here. And it's like just being with people that know. I mean, I love Sue and Lee, and having them there for Christmas Day got us through it. Don't get me wrong, it really, really did. But then you come in, I knew you would get us through New Year.
Yeah. And we did it.
We had a good New Year's Eve, didn't we?
did. Yeah.
Yeah. We
did.
We had dancing, we had laughter, we
Yeah.
had tears, we had
Yeah.
fireworks, we had lovely food, we had lovely company. We've got friends, Nigel and Kim, which are absolute nutcases. So glad they don't live
lovely.
next door to us. They're far too loud.
No, they're
They're just far enough away to be good friends. It's just like we won't fall out with them. You can keep their noise down near the pool. But yeah, they made it easy for us. You know, they said they understood that if we needed to leave, if we needed to quiet space, whatever, we had everything in place that we needed for that night, and it worked. It really did.
Yeah.
Absolutely, threw it down. Was piss wet through. No point in doing our hair. Talking about hair, I haven't done my hair in 4 days. So.
And then New Year's Day, we climbed a mountain. We didn't. We walked up a hill. But I told my kids I climbed a mountain, so don't tell them otherwise.
We're calling that a mountain. That is a mountain to you. For somebody who did 56 steps in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. To know what you're doing, you're hoping to get your 10,000 steps in every day.
I've done 10,000 steps every day so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only on, the 5th of January, but, 5 days in, and I think there was one day I'd done 7,000, but other than that, I've done my 10,000 in January.
Yeah. That's amazing. And that wasn't, we'll call it a mountain. It's a mountain to you, so that's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
We actually call it Booby Hill because it looks like one boob stuck on. But we call it Booby Mountain now.
Yeah, Booby Mountain's much better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd say you needed a wee all the way.
Oh, never been so desperate for a wee in all my life. And then when we get to the top and there was no more walking and it was just like big steps climbing, I was like, I can't hold a wee in and step that far. I can't do it, but I've got no choice. Like, yeah, that was hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have to say, when we got to the top, I felt so overwhelmed, and I took no tissue with me, but emotionally just felt really overwhelmed, and I don't quite know why, but I've been kind of thinking about that quite a lot. I think lately I feel so emotionally sensitive all the time, which is really different for me and really new because I'm not an emotionally sensitive person. I'm normally quite cold and, I don't usually react to anything, but I just find everything makes me tearful. I was never one of these people that an advert would make me cry or anything like that because and now every fucking thing makes me cry. And I find that really difficult, like just walking to the top of that bloody mountain, I just felt like I wanted to cry.
But why did it happen? It's really weird because we was okay walking up.
Yeah.
We weren't together. We was like...
Yeah, because I was too slow.
Yeah, you was a bit slow. No, but you got halfway up and you said, no, I can't do any more. And then was it red admirals?
Yeah.
Oh, was it one? Was it one or two?
When I was walking up and I spat my dummy out and said, I'm not going any further, there was a little red admiral butterfly that then just came and sat on the rock in front of me, and then it kind of flew like 10 steps up, and I thought, okay, I'll follow the butterfly, and then it just kept flying 10 steps in front of me and just waiting. And then when I got to the top and stood at the top with you, there was 2 red admirals came and flew round us, wasn't there?
Yeah. And by that stage, I'd obviously already been at the top and I was looking out the way because I didn't want anybody to see me, but I was absolutely sobbing.
Yeah.
There was, and again, no tissue. I had snot everywhere.
No. I was just lucky I'd put layers on and I'd got a vest top underneath my other vest top, and I just pulled that out and had to use it as a blooming tissue to dry my snot and my tears. But when you just think like...
Yeah. It looks like I had sunglasses on which hid most of mine.
No, I just didn't see that coming at all.
No.
But I feel like everything feels so much more.
I don't know what it is. I don't think it's just the time of year. I don't know whether it's in our stage of our grief.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Because I'm not I'm not as bad as I used to be, because I could go into a card shop or read a card and cry just at the words of the card. I could cry at an advert, and I'm not doing. I'm like numb, and it's sort of almost the opposite of you. I've made myself cold against things like that, but then when it does hit, it's hitting really hard at the moment,
Yeah.
and I just don't know. I mean, I went to see my sister-in-law yesterday. I don't see her very often, but every single day she sends me a message, good morning. She never says happy Christmas or happy New Year. She just says good morning, and then it'd be something like sending lots of love or thinking about you. And
Yeah.
have I told you how much I love you? You know, like a bit of a joke, because we had a joke. She used to text every single day to me and Emily would say, is that Auntie Lynn telling me how much she loves me? And we'd laugh about it. And some days you think, oh, I've got messages, you think, oh, it's just Lynn. But it's not just Lynn. It's
No.
that message.
Yeah.
And even that is making me emotional. And I could go years used to go years without seeing her. But it's like we've never been apart when we see each other. It's just a connection.
Yeah.
And I'm so close to her, like 20 minutes away. I've been here 3 weeks and still hadn't seen her. So yesterday I had a little fix of my Lynn fix. Do you know what I mean? And but saying that, yeah, I needed to see Lynn. Seen Lynn, I've had my Lynn fix. But Christmas Day, go back to that. Got through it. Went back to Sue's, had a drink, and then come back home. And thought, oh, Gavin and Stacey's on. I'll watch Gavin and Stacey. We looked forward to it. We got the time wrong and then realised we had to wait another hour for it to come on. So we sat there, Gavin and Stacey come on. Me and Rob sat next to each other on the sofa holding hands. Why I didn't think Emily was a massive fan of Gavin and Stacey. And it came to the scene on Barry Island where Emily had stood and had loads and loads of pictures of her in this particular scene. And it hit me so hard. And then I looked and I turned around and all I could see was all the tears coming down Rob's face. And I just felt just so sad. And all I wanted to do was talk to my friend Fifi, who was my Welsh friend who took us to Barry Island. And I just sat there thinking, I need to talk to Fi. And she was the only person that I could relate to at that moment. And it had finished, and I just sent her a text, and I just said, why did I watch that? Why did I think? And within minutes, we were just talking, we just rang each other, and she knew straight away, and we just sat and cried on the phone. That was it. Just sat and cried. I think it was 11 o'clock here. And she said there was a slight delay of when it had finished. And she said they'd only just finished because they had to stop it. They had to put it on pause because Bills, who was Em's best Welshie friend, had got upset. And it was just the same point as we got upset. So two families so far apart that had had such a big impact on Em's life. They got it, and they felt the hurt like we did.
That's nice.
And it just we was up all night. Christmas night. We just cried all night. And there's nothing, we just had to ride that wave, as bad as it was. But we're bloody exhausted the next day.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's difficult when, you sometimes feel in that on your own, that, other people aren't getting the same level of pain because it doesn't have that same connection for them. And that's really difficult. And it makes, I think that's just a lot of what makes everything really hard, isn't it? And everything that we do is that it just builds on that isolation and that loneliness of that feeling. Like, people just don't get how long this goes on for and how intense it is, and the, you know, how much can be a trigger, and so much can be a trigger.
Yeah, but even we forget what the triggers are. We sort of, when I sat down my crisps, I had a not been drinking a glass of water. It's not very. I do most of the driving out here, so I just stopped drinking. It's not a thing. I just sat there with my crisps and my goodies, and I never even thought that Gavin and Stacey would be a trigger.
No.
And then I felt guilty because I thought, how could he have not thought that?
Yeah.
How could he have forgot how much she loved? And Rob was the same. No, I know I didn't, but I did. And think about it, I did forget, because I could have thought, oh God, will I be able to watch Gavin and Stacey? I never thought. They just sat there and put it on.
Yeah, I find myself feeling guilty a lot lately because not that I forget. I don't forget that Bradley's not here, but I just don't think about it all the time. And then the guilt then becomes massive.
Yeah.
Because you just think, why am I still doing these things? Why am I laughing? Why am I having fun? Why did I enjoy that? It just feels wrong. But then you have to enjoy it. You have to do these things because otherwise you're just not having a life. And for me, that would just feel so wrong if I gave up what he didn't have.
Yeah.
So you're just stuck all the time, aren't you? Between
the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally. It's all just so difficult.
We were having a conversation actually at Christmas. Both my brothers were here, and I was talking to them, and my mum was here, and my mum has really kind of changed a lot in the last few years. She's really aged really quickly. Her fiance died really unexpectedly, quite traumatically. In 2019, he fell off a roof of a house. He was a roofer and ended up quite poorly. And for 11 months, he was, he didn't die and he wasn't paralysed, but it caused him a lot of problems. And for 11 months, he was really ill, and that was a lot of care for my mum. And he was in a spinal unit and a head trauma unit and all of that. And then when he died, my mum, I don't know, just changed overnight. Like, she went from being capable to being not capable. She lost her life. Like, she aged about 20 years overnight, and it was really difficult. So we were saying, like, we were talking about being old, and my nan had lived till she was 99, and we were saying, my nan had died on Christmas Day 3 years ago. So we were saying, that we didn't want to live to that age, and that, Nanny's sort of prime time was, if Nanny had died when she was sort of 93, 94, she wouldn't have had those last 5 years of where she really struggled with her life. And I was saying, I don't really want to live that old. And I was like, well, look at Mum. I was like, Mum, I'm not being rude, but I don't want to live like you. You don't have a life. And she was like, no, my life's really changed. And then we were saying the average age to live to is 84. And I was like, Christ, that's a bit old, isn't it? And everybody looked at me and they were like, you are? And I was like, I wouldn't live that long. And they were like, oh, we all thought that wasn't old enough. And I was like, how my perception
has changed. I was the only one in that conversation between me and my brothers and my mum that was thinking that 84 was too old. They were all like, 84 isn't old at all. And, and you think, oh, Christ, it hadn't even dawned on me that you lot would think that was not long enough. Like, why the fuck do I want to live till I'm 84?
Yeah. But also, look, if you think about it, Beck, when you say that your mum has changed so much since her loss, that's a good reason why to not feel guilty about having the happy moments, isn't it? Because you don't want to end up like that.
No.
So you can use that and think, yeah, I have had a happy moment. I've enjoyed just doing something. That's a good thing, not something to feel guilty about.
Yeah. I try not to feel guilty for enjoying myself because I still think that that's something that I should do.
And Bradley would want you to do.
Yeah. And I try not to feel guilty for creating happy family moments because I've said it plenty of times before, my other kids deserve that.
Yeah.
But I feel guilt in the form of pain that he's just not here. And I just wish that he could do it too.
I know.
And it's just... But we can't change that, can we?
No, we can't change it. And sometimes we can't make things better.
It's just so wrong.
We haven't got a magic wand. There's nothing we can do to say, right, I can take this pain away. I can take your pain, you can take mine, because we can't. It's just there and we have to go through this pain.
Yeah.
And it is for the rest of our life. We know that, but we know we can get through life. We know we're doing it.
And I know I can. It just feels wrong.
It is wrong. Of course it's wrong, because it should be here. They were 16 and 18. They should be here. They should be here causing us trouble, going out, getting drunk and partying all night. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah, all his friends went to Prague for New Year. He should have been going with them.
Yeah, even if he was the sensible one looking after everybody.
He would have been, but yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I feel like it's Bradley's birthday in a couple of weeks, or 5-6 weeks. And I don't know how I feel about the fact that he would have been 20 and he'll never see his 20s. I don't know how I feel about that. That just feels a bit...
That's just
weird.
A little bit too much to be thinking of yet.
Can't help it.
Can you put it on a shelf?
No.
Right.
Not yet. That's next for us, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like being thrown from Christmas to New Year to his birthday. Yeah. It's a lot. There's only so much your mind and body can take.
Yeah.
And, you'll get through it. We've got through last birthday, we'll get through this birthday, get through next year's birthday, but it's still bloody hard.
Yeah.
So have you plans? Have you any ideas of what you want to do? I know last year we did paintballing.
Yeah, I've not really thought about it, to be honest.
I know you won't want to go to Spain because you'll want to be with the others. You'll need to be there.
Yeah,
to support the others.
I don't know. I've not really thought about it. We've planned next year for his 21st. We're going to Japan.
Okay.
Because that's what he would have loved.
Right.
So that's what we're doing next year.
Is that all of you?
Yeah, with my dad and Lynn.
Right. Madman's on tour again.
Oh, God, could you imagine? Oh, we haven't told anybody about the drama at the airport. Forgotten all about that when we were coming out to you. It was like some Carry On film. Couldn't bloody write it, could you?
First of all, I think you have to explain that Simon is a nervous passenger.
Oh, nervous isn't even the word, is it? He's proper petrified of flying. So that was just horrific in itself. Yeah, it just couldn't have got any worse. Like, at one point there was this crazy man running around the airport going, "Someone stolen my phone! They stole my phone in the queue!" And and you think, oh, for fuck's sake, this dickhead better get on this plane, because otherwise his bags are on there.
This is after, hang on, you've missed it, but this is after how many hours of delay?
Oh, at least 3. We'd sat there for ages, haven't we? Yeah, we've been delayed for ages. And the whole time we were there, it kept telling us to board. So Karen was like, "No, in Spain it's coming up that your flight's delayed." I was like, "Well, Stansted, it's still telling us to get on the plane." And they were still telling us to go to the gate. And we went to the gate the first time. And then there was a ding ding announcement. And it was like, "Can the flight to Alicante all please sit down?" And then they boarded the flight to Madrid from our gate and told us all to sit down. So we were like, right. And then about half an hour later, it told us all to stand up and board. So we all stood up to board. And then there's another ding. "Can the flight to Alicante all please sit down?" We were like, what the fuck? Then they boarded the flight to Geneva. We were like, for fuck's sake, this next plane that's come's got to be ours. And then it went ding, ding, ding. "Can everybody to Alicante please stand up?" So we stood up. And then it went, "Nah, sorry, we changed the gate." So then we had to go like 3 gates down to get on another plane to get on the gate. And then finally start boarding this bloody plane. And this man starts screaming that someone had took his phone. And he's proper screaming, like running, arms flailing through the airport. He accused a woman behind him. "You've stolen my phone. It was in my pocket." So anyway, we board and just think, oh God, just hope this man gets on, because otherwise, if he's still running through the airport, they're going to have to take his bags off and we're going to be delayed even more. So sit downs, and me and Simon are on the end of the aisle. Simon ends up with 2 babies sat next to him. Horrific. Like, just couldn't be anything worse for him. So I'm texting Karen laughing that Simon's got 2 babies sitting next to him. And I've got a man and an 8-year-old kid sitting next to me. As the plane takes off, the man goes, "I got ADHD, me. I'll just accuse someone of stealing my phone," and you think, for fuck's sake. I was like, "All right, did you find it?" He was like, "Never lost it." He said, "I just thought I put it in my pocket and I hadn't. It was in my bag." I was like, "Right, yeah." He was like, "Yeah, no one stole it. I feel a bit bad about the woman I shouted at." And then literally every 5 minutes, he was like, "Is there a toilet at the front of the plane and the back of the plane?" "Yeah." "Can I go to the toilet?" "Yes, mate, go to the toilet." "Can I go to the toilet and get a tissue?" "Yeah." "Are they going to come around with the trolley in a minute?" "Yes, mate, yeah, they're going to come around with the trolley in a minute." And then I think everybody on that plane thought he belonged to me, because every time they came and spoke to him, they were like, "Madam," you think he's not mine. He's not mine. So then that was just an eventful flight. So then when we landed in Alicante, we were the first ones off the plane and ran to you and Rob. We were like, "Save us, please." It's 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning by that point. And I think I was just delirious, by that point.
Yeah, you was like, I don't know, it was like you were on speed or something. You got in the car and you
I was just
the way back,
delirious.
and I'm like, we were trying to drive and thinking, "Please shut up, Beck, please just shut up." And then the next day you repeated everything that you'd said. I went, "Right, can I just stop you? You're boring me now, because you told me all this yesterday on the journey back from the airport, which was the longest journey."
It was horrific. It was horrific. You just couldn't write it. It's only us all the time. But yeah, it was nice being in Spain though. Although I think you've now got better weather now we've left.
We only had one bad day. And maybe a couple of cloudy days.
It was cold.
Rainy, but yeah, it's nice now.
Yeah, it was a lot warmer come New Year's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're doing it. We've got loads planned now for this year. We're going to get our positive hats on.
Yeah.
We can still cry and be positive at the same time.
Do you know what? I'm fast learning that people, you always read it about grief, that joy and sadness can coexist, and they really do. And you don't really understand to what extent, do you, until you're in this crazy shit show.
Yeah. I think the thing is to try and switch off your brain that has to analyze everything, And for the next few weeks, just to get you through February, just try and be on automatic pilot and just get through each day again, a day at a time. And just deal with whatever happens that day.
That's all we can do, innit?
Yeah, of course it is. What else can we do? We're not going to give up. We're not going to just... You can go back to bed today, though, if you're not feeling well.
Yeah, I don't feel well today. But another thing that really hit me this year is that whole grief hangover, that whole grief come down, you know, that hold yourself strong for everything. And then all of a sudden, like when Christmas was kind of over, you know, that crash of emotions, you know, the overwhelm. I think everybody kind of looks for it in other people, like, you know, my family and friends kind of were expecting it around Christmas, but actually afterwards that come down is just as much of that, you know, that burnout phase. And I don't think sort of enough credit for that is given, really, in that how overwhelming it all just feels afterwards too. It's not just in the build up.
You can give it all these fancy names like hangovers, grief hangovers and everything, but at the end of the day, it's only the same as last year. We got through Christmas and then we didn't take New Year into account.
No.
And that hit us badly. So this year we've got New Year under control. We got through Christmas, we got New Year under control, and now we've still got this, what we're now calling a grief hangover. So it just shows there's no getting away from it.
No.
It's there, and it doesn't matter where it comes, that day, or that day, it's still going to come, and we will still have to deal with it. Yeah,
and the intensity doesn't change.
It doesn't change. No, it really doesn't. And you think, oh, I've done that. I've really done that. I've got through Christmas, and then something else will come. But it's okay for it to come. It's got to come because it's inside us. It's in our body. It's in our mind. It's in our heart. And we've just got to accept it. It's going to come and just deal with it in the best way we possibly can.
Yeah. It's all we can do.
Of course it's all we can do. And nothing's going to change. They're not going to be able to come back. We can still talk about them. And I don't care anymore if I bore everybody about them. We'll post about them. We'll do all what we're doing. And that's what we'll do it together.
Yeah.
And we're taking so many people on our journey with us now.
Yeah, that's what the plan for 2025 is to continue to help ourselves, to help others, and just to do this together.
Yeah. And we're going to get these books sorted and all that we've written.
Yeah.
Get off our asses and get that sorted.
And do you know what? The majority of it that's outstanding is yours.
Oof. Let's not worry about the book at the moment. That can any time.
I need to work on Bradley's story, but
yeah, that's where I was up to.
I find it tough.
Yeah,
I just find it tough.
I was up to, on Emily's story, the bit where the tumour had come back, and then I stopped. It was just too tough to deal with. So yeah, we'll get the book done whenever we're ready.
Yeah, exactly that.
But I mean, even the specialist nurse Pen at Christie's, who's been reading. She messaged me before Christmas. She said, "Why, it was brilliant. Why haven't you pushed it? Why haven't you finished it? You need to get on with it." So that did give me a little bit of a kick, but not quite enough of one to.
It's just tough, isn't it?
It's tough. It's a tough write. So
I mean, the book itself is more sort of about our grief experience, about what we didn't expect in grief, and about what sort of hit us and how we felt and how we dealt with that and how we coped with that, and the things that it all sort of threw up along the way. And then we've just added Emily and Bradley's story at the end, haven't we? It's not
about Emily and
a
Bradley.
memoir as such, is it?
It's just about grief in the early stages of and we wrote it when it was raw, when it was happening. So there's not many books like the few people that have read it and said it's not like other books. It helped them in so many ways. We wrote
it when we were sort of weeks after the kids died, and that was really important for us because we felt a lot of grief books that we read, as much as they were helpful, they'd lost the intensity, they'd lost those early day feelings that I think it's a bit like when you give birth, when you have a baby, you go back and do it again because you kind of forget that, the real hard parts of it. Your brain buries them, doesn't it? And I think that's the same when a lot of people have written a book. The real hard parts have been buried, but we wrote it during that time, and so therefore they've all been included. And so it's probably a little bit harder, but I'm proud of it. It's a good book. We just need to do something with it. It helped me, though. It really did help me to put all of those feelings onto paper at the time.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. It got us through some days, didn't it, that?
Yeah, it was a distraction. It was therapeutic to actually pull all of that out so that we weren't holding it in.
Yeah, right. So that's something we're dealing with.
Yeah. And then 2025 has to be our year.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it at the moment. We both look like shit.
Oh, I feel so ill. And I hate the fact that 2025 could be our year, because as much as we do Room to Grieve because we want to help other people and we want to be supportive for other people, and it's something that we feel we can offer that support there with. It's like, why do I want to succeed because my kid's dead? Such a juxtaposition, isn't it?
God, you've really cheered me up today.
Yeah, I know. Probably recording a podcast with me when I don't feel very well is probably not the best thing, because I just feel sorry for myself. But do you find that, though? Your grief is a million times worse when you're poorly. Like, I can't hold it together. It's like it magnifies my emotions because I feel shit.
I don't think you're very often poorly. I think you're a lot stronger than what you think. And I think what you've done since you've left here and gone home is you've been so busy, and you've probably you've just overwhelmed your body and your mind, whether it was for distraction that you did it or whether it was like throwing yourself into stuff. And I think you've just exhausted yourself.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to feel sorry for yourself today.
Only today.
Only today, yeah.
And you'll be the same when it's your turn to fly back next week and go back to work.
Of course, well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for letting me cheer you up.
Do you know what I've had for my breakfast?
I haven't had mine yet. What you had?
Guess. It's a good grief food.
Did you have trifle?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I didn't, that great big massive bowl that I bought that I did for the New Year's Eve trifle, which we've got to admit we forgot to take on New Year's Eve.
We
to
did,
the party.
but what a shame.
Oh, we was devastated. So we got home.
What a shame.
At 1:30 in the morning, we were eating trifle out of a big bowl.
We were. So, Simon complained about it the whole way through, but he didn't stop fucking eating it and leave it for us, did he?
It was so annoying, wasn't it? He said, I don't like trifle. So, well, do you know what, Annie, then? He went, yeah, I'll have some. So, well, if you don't like it, why are you having it? I said, I'll get you something else. There's ice cream, there's Magnums, there's this. Didn't get the message, did he, that we really didn't want to give him a portion of our trifle. So, I'll have a piece. It's a bit mushy, in it, with all the different layers together. So it's a bit mushy. So you want any more then? Well, I'll have another piece. And I'm thinking, fuck off. Right, this is our trifle. We are trifle lovers. It's grief food, we've decided. So this was our medicine, our grief medicine at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And he had 2 portions. I was fuming.
Yeah. Niall was like, is that all I've got? Yeah, because Fatso here, he's just ate it when he don't fucking like it.
So Nigel, our friends who we'd been to the party to, he complained that I'd promised him a trifle and he never got any trifle. So I sent him a picture of it, of you big bow in your hair. Yeah. She said, do I look about 10 in this bow? Yeah. Oh, okay. So she still wore it. They didn't know, we all got piss wet through. But so I had to make another trifle last night before Kim and Nigel went home.
Oh, bless you.
And so that's why I've had trifle this morning.
Nice.
And it helped. Made me feel
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me heartburns, I had trifle and I had a Rennie to go with it.
Sign of old age.
Yeah. No, yesterday I had some biscuits. And I've not
Nice.
bought biscuits the entire time I've been here because that's still, I'm trying to lose weight. So I got one of these biscuits. Oh, that's nice. So I had another. Then I had another, and I thought, must be almonds in these biscuits because my mouth was trying to
Oh
struggling
no.
I have to go and get one of my really strong antihistamines. Yeah, so that I'm all right now. So I ate another.
What are you like?
Yeah. So yeah. Just that's all about being prepared. You can try and be prepared for grief. You can try and prepare for getting heartburn. You
can try and be prepared for having a nut allergy and eating almonds,
Get on their EpiPens and then I can hear you report. Right, let's bring this new year on. Let's sort it. Let's get through it.
Yeah. Next week we've got a chat with the Lost Mum from Instagram on baby loss. That's quite a tough one, but a really interesting one to listen to. And there's a few series of different types of loss that we tried to cover following the response from the requests that we made a month or so ago. And baby loss was one that came back quite a lot, wasn't it? So hopefully everybody will enjoy that one next week. So that's a good one to look forward to. I mean, I say it like that's fucking exciting. Yay. I mean, it's shit, but, the episode itself. So
that word enjoy.
Fucking crap, innit? We need to invent a new word.
Yeah. A grief word that only us grief is.
Yeah, because that's just sounds so wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right, my sunshine's coming out and I
Lovely.
shall now go and start painting.
Well, I've got snow, so I'm going to go and build a snowman. You go and enjoy your sunshine.
Yeah.
And I'll catch up with you when you're back next week.
Okay, see you then.
Oh, what do we have to say? Grab yourself a cuppa.
Find a comfortable spot. And
we'll
journey through grief together. Should have said it together.
I forgot the words. Right.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.